According to the World Health Organization, sexual violence is any sexual act, attempt to obtain a sexual act, or other acts directed against a person's sexuality using coercion by any person regardless of their relationship to the victim in any setting. It includes rape, defined as the physically forced or otherwise coerced penetration of the vulva or anus with a penis, other body parts or object. Intimate partner violence refers to behavior within an intimate relationship that causes physical, sexual, or psychological harm, including acts of physical aggression, sexual coercion, psychological behavior, and controlling behaviors. This definition covers violence by both current and former spouses and partners. Sexual violence and abuse impacts the lives and well-being of victims and survivors in lots of different ways. It can affect their physical health, sexually transmitted infections, pregnancy, difficult emotions, and trauma-related issues such as anxiety, flashbacks, and nightmares. Today on your favorite TV talk show, The Physicians, we'll be discussing health consequences of sexual and gender-based violence on the individual and society, the way forward. It's another day with The Physicians, where your health is our business. My name is Dr. Martina Agbere, a regular anchor on this program. Today we'll be discussing the health consequences of sexual and gender-based violence on the individual and society, the way forward. As usual, I'm not alone. I have my very, very beautiful, elegant, celebratory shriek, no other person than our able doctor.
Memuna Yusuf Kadri, welcome to your favorite health TV talk show, The Physicians, where your health is our business.
And will always be
our business.
Memuna, I'm sure I know you've been looking forward to us discussing this topic. Very sensitive topic, right?
Very.
And most we're going to talk about the health consequences of
because we are the physicians.
Physicians, that's why we're bringing it. And I just hope that this 25 minutes will be enough for us to discuss this topic.
Let's already let our audience know. No, this is just a teaser.
It's actually just a teaser because the guests that we have today,
So
French will say
moving encyclopedia.
Abrine. That's what they will tell you, she's an abrine. So talk about sexual-based violence. What comes to mind?
A lot.
Because you are a psychiatrist.
Yes. A lot, and especially the way it is being amplified on social media is mind-boggling. So there are days I do my social media detox, like literally, I don't want to go near there. And I'm getting physical, people calling that, are you not on social media? I say, I don't have to be. Today I'm on. No, please check. XYZ has happened. This, and it's so bad these days that, and the worst part, let us even say the worst case scenario is death, right?
Yes.
But mortality is different. Yeah. The morbidity is such a big
That
mess.
is actually the crux
of it. I know where the morbidity hurts me the most, in homes where children
are involved.
It's a mess.
So, but the truth is that on social media, the people that are actually dragging this, those that are involved, have no idea of the impact they have on those that are actually going through this.
Let me give you a case. I remember dealing with a couple, and I told them, you people are adults. Whatever you people are doing, your decision. You had the right, you had anything to either make or break this marriage. But see, these children,
leave them out.
I'm their advocate. And at this point in time, I'm not seeing them now the way I'm seeing them. I'm thinking of in a 10, 20 years time, when they will sit with me and recall what the mess people put them in. So please, let us begin to change the narrative.
Let us begin to change the narrative. Let's hear from our guests.
Yeah.
Because she's actually one on the field. You'll tell us a whole lot that has been going on. We're back after the short break. Please stay tuned.
Every day and in every way. Enjoy that I find support. No matter the role you play, nutrient pack supplement for you and me. In your body, that I fight you.
Darvite nutritional supplement is loaded with essential multivitamins, minerals, and natural ingredients that helps you to be at your best. Darvite from LB Pharma. Darvite, love yourself.
Welcome to your favorite health TV talk show, The Physicians, where your health is our business. Like I said much earlier, we'll be discussing the health consequences of sexual and gender-based violence on the individual and society, the way forward. And in the studio with me is a no other person that is best fit to discussing this particular topic that we'll be handling today. She is very eloquent. She's a grassroots person. In fact, he is Dr. Yolanda George David, fondly known as Aunt Landa. And she's actually a full-time humanitarian and sexual-based violence, a child rights activist, and recently became a United States Institute of Diplomacy and Human Rights consultant. Please join me. Let's welcome Dr. Yolanda George David.
Thank you.
Drum roll.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Finally. Finally you are here.
And I'm glad to be here. Great work you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Very, very important.
Thank you.
That we have this platform. And thank you for having me.
Thank you. So we want to be talking about the health consequences of gender-based violence on the individual and the society at large, and the way forward. So maybe you want to just tell us first about what you are the one on ground, grassroots. Just give us something. Let us know.
Have an idea. Okay.
Because remember, we're going to talk more of the health consequences. Like, give us a background.
And with my background as a doctor, this is the physician.
Yes, she's actually a doctor. She's an obstetrician and gynecologist, and also a neurosurgeon.
Well, but there's sometimes your passion actually needs to push back all of your personal aspirations.
Yeah, right.
And as demand comes, well, I remember we've had this discussion, myself and Dr. Memuna, like almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
At that time, many people were not even talking about sexual abuse that much, and we were worried about how, if I remember clearly, how we were raising a lot of broken children who become broken adults. And I remember saying then, and I've been singing it since then, it's easier to fix. It's easier to raise healthy adults. Trying to fix broken adults when we missed it from the beginning, it's a mess. And what we're dealing with now we're dealing with children who were products of survivors of sexual and gender-based violence. Now the difference is these children watched their mothers being abused, and emotional abuse was one of the things you wear proudly, like you endure it. And I want to clearly state this: I am a sexual and gender-based violence advocate. Gender is male and female. So we have male survivors, we have female survivors. Now, but when we talk about the physiological effects and the health consequences, you see that when it comes to a lady who is sexually abused, then we're dealing with, like in the picture of rape, we're dealing with STIs, STDs, and then it's not just now the mental repercussion, but also there's a whole systemic shutdown, hormonal imbalance. When you're now looking from the place of female fertility medicine, you're talking about PCOS, and then we're having mood swings, and then when you look at the psychiatry part of it, we're having a lot of people do not even know that they are dealing with bipolar disorders. A lot of people do not know, and then they make it so it's very easy for you to get a prescription or do a malaria test, but it's kind of, even in this world where everyone has a smartphone. This generation and the Africa we are in, whether we like it or not, they are not smart enough to see that mental health is still something that we need to handle. We need to have, the way we have pharmacists, we need to have mental health shops in offices. And I say how difficult it is for companies to even bring out budgets for us to talk about mental health of their staffers. I see how a lot of people will escape, and they only agree they have mental health issues when they don't want to go to jail.
Exactly.
So someone, we're talking about pedophilia being a mental health disorder, they would not take all of the help. They are attracted to children, they would not get it until they are faced with jail time. Then they now tell you that they have seen a doctor, or they are willing to go see a doctor. And if you only seek help when there's a repercussion to your action, you've already created some damage.
Sure.
Exactly.
Sure.
Now, with the work I do, unfortunately, we deal with minor abuse. And it's very important I say that. So we're no longer just having adults abusing children. So we're having...
And Dr. Landa,
Yes,
I
please.
want to, at this point, just made that statement,
Yes.
to share with us. And we know people are watching.
Yes, please.
What's the worst case that has presented in your place abroad? Yeah. That you really felt this
Shouldn't have-
this shouldn't have.
This shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And that's a father who fingered his 3-week-old daughter.
You said 3 weeks?
3 weeks. He had done it to the first girl, and when the mother had complained, the church said she was mad, she was possessed, because the man was an elder in the church. And even though this happened in 2016, like the moment you asked me the question, it still messes with me, because this 3-week-old girl is now an 8-year-old girl who works with a limp, who I sponsored to go to India for a pelvic reconstruction. The man started with the fingering, and then after like 3-4 days, he was trying to squeeze in.
Are you serious?
Let's just call it the pineal gland, and then
The 3
Yes.
the 3 weeks old child?
yes, and then there was a crack in the
I have
pelvic.
goosebumps all over my body.
Yes. And before then, I thought my worst case was the case of Ijoma. Ijoma is now a lawyer in the UK. I remember rescuing her when she came to me. She said she didn't want to have an abortion. And she came to our center. Then we're in Ahmed Onibodo, in VI. So remember that place is just by that law school side. Yes. So we used to get a lot of cases then, and people would just come and sneak in because they didn't want anybody to know they're talking to Atlanta. So this girl came and she was just waiting. Crowd was coming in and going. And I was like, "Where's your mother?" She said she wants to talk to me when everybody goes. And then she says her mom wants to take her for abortion. She doesn't want to go for the abortion again. And then I said, "Why?" She said, "Because she doesn't want to have another younger one." You don't want to have another younger one? She said, "Yes, that her other 2 children are her brothers and also her children, because her daddy is the father of the baby."
You don't
There's a mix-up here.
No, there's no mix-up.
Do you want to explain that again?
Yes, her father was impregnating her in the house, and she was having the baby, and the mom was adopting the children as her younger one.
Are you serious?
So this was the 3rd one. And it's that if she refuses the abortion, then she has to have the baby, and then the baby stays with them.
Yeah.
So the mother pretends to be pregnant.
So the mother is aware of what is going on.
Yes, the mother, she's keeping her marriage. Yes, she's keeping her marriage. So I remember going to the house that day in the night. You know me, I'm crazy, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I wore my khaki that day because a lot of things were ringing in my head. I remember calling one of my oddlies, and my oddly was saying, "Atlanta, you go and scatter first, then you call us, because if we go with you, we have to follow rule of law." And they said the guy is connected. I said he's connected. That's okay.
We'll unconnect him.
We went there.
We will unconnect him.
As I got to the front, I called someone in Abuja. I said, "I want to report myself." You know, he said I should not fight. Okay, I have fought. I have destroyed. I have beaten. She wanted to calm me down. I told her that this little girl, she's 15 years old. She's expecting her 3rd baby. When did she have the first baby? She was 11 going on 12. And then the woman started shouting. She said, "Nanda, do what only you can do." I said, "Yes, Mama. I'm just telling you, because when they tell you what I've done, they will not tell you what they did."
Yeah.
So we got to the house, and they were having house fellowship. And it's one of those churches, you know, I'm an ordained minister, but let me just let you know, one of those churches that cause fire and brimstone and everything.
Okay.
And the father was now leading
The congregation.
The congregation.
And I asked the girl, "Who is the daddy, father of it?" She said, "It's my daddy." And then the mother said, "It's a family issue, it's a family issue. Please. We've been doing deliverance for this girl. And that this girl, she has
of course, they will not
spirit."
obey her.
She said, "This is her father. I shall be trying to destroy my marriage, but I have put my foot down. I'm a Proverbs 31 woman." I said, "Madam, You are aware of this? Say yes. But because she has refused that this daughter she brought to this world will destroy this husband, he has the calling, he has when the man started rabbaing for me. That was how I grabbed him. I said, if we want to do, they say touch not together. I'm ordained, you are ordained.
Yeah.
I didn't even know his own ordination was not even from Bible school. It was self-ordination as unique leader. But they were calling him pastor. I said, we are touching ourselves. Did you do this? He said, this is his daughter, it's his right. When I was coming, I had already given those days, but it was plenty money, 15,000 to the what you call agberos at the entrance. And I told them that we are going to take one man, he has been sleeping with us. So when the members wanted to start shouting, and they saw the people behind me were greater, he said, let's go and discuss in your office. I said, that's better.
Let's go.
When we got to the station, they were telling me that there are no laws, it's a family matter, this, I carried our load. Those people were not ready. I went to another place where they know me already. I said, I will make you people popular. Thank God it was a Friday. I said, tomorrow I'll go to the radio station. I will tell them how you people have aided and abetted. And they said, there's no place for the girl to sleep. I said, there is no problem. I have a shelter.
You have a shelter, exactly.
So we're going to the shelter, and they were like, you have to call, you have to do that. I said, that's not a problem. Do you know that they messed this case up so much?
Ouch.
Lagos is now good, though.
Right?
Lagos is now good. Those days, for you to get one appearance before a judge, even for them to collect statements, they were making a mess out of the case. After a while, I had to choose between the girl's mental health,
exactly,
the baby, and then the fact that she was, at the time she came to me, she was like 7 months pregnant. And we had done this thing for like 2 months and we couldn't get any dates. Nothing was going, so she was due. And so I decided, let her have a baby first. I needed, because the case was, it was being dragged on, and we have a legal team, and I want to say they are doing a very great job. Many of them have been threatened, and because of that, some of them now work anonymously, but they push for the cases even after I do the fighting, because I have to go and break down some of the doors, so you need a team for continuity. But this girl was due, and because she was a teenager and minor, I decided she should have her baby. I keep on telling her, this was years ago, and now she's a graduate of law. She's in the UK.
She's coming to fight.
Yes.
I love the fact she's a lawyer.
That's why I paid that school fees in pounds. Like, I keep on telling her I'm still owing money for her to come back. But and then once she's still going to come do law school here, because that's one of the things she promised me. And I know that she's going to, I've already told the team, she's taking over our legal team, because her case was the first case with which we were able to get life imprisonment for the father. And it opened up a space, because there was now precedence. We now saw that when you consistently fight and push, and then we're able to get the mother to answer for aiding and abetting too. So they have a permanent residence. It's in a place with high walls where we go and visit and greet them during Ramadan, Christmas. Place called Kiri Kiri. All our people are there. We provide them free psychological and psychiatry help. Yes, because I say it, we're keeping you in cell. We need you to be away from humans, and we give them the option. But my point is, if we just lock them up and we don't get a psychiatrist to explain to them why they are there, they will feel like they are being witch-hunted. But if you let them roam around and come for counseling with Dr. Memuna, when they finish, they will be tempted. So when sometimes they need to be in one place, let's be seeing
protected environment.
Yes, and they are perfect examples. Now, after Favor, who is now doing so well, and she's driving her children, of course, we needed, there's no continuity. Let me tell you, there are a lot of people that are passionate in this work I'm doing. There are a lot of people that even nearly lost their marriages because they were fighting for the rights of people. But unfortunately, and also a lot of broken people, because we have, and let me say, like I said, gender, we have cases. I have a case of Toby. Toby was sexually abused.
This is a boy now. It's good that you share a story about a boy too.
Toby was sexually abused. And when Toby came to the foundation, he was given attitude.
How old was Toby?
Toby at the time, Toby was 17. But he wasn't seeing it. He was angry that I arrested his girlfriend. He wasn't seeing that he was abused. Because this girl was a neighbor who started sleeping with him when he was like 12. And so for 5 years, they were in this relationship. At that time, she was a nurse.
So she's older.
She's older, yes. She was in her 30s.
Oh, no.
And so at the time, Toby was now touching his younger ones. And the mother brought the matter, and then in counseling, sometimes a lot of people take for granted that you need to break the ice. So 5 sessions, 10 sessions, nothing comes up until the day they actually get vulnerable enough to tell you that, see, this thing you're saying. And then in that tantrum, a lot of revelations come up. And then he was now like, he doesn't know what we are saying. That all these things that he's doing to this girl should be his experience because of the love of his life. Who is the love of his life? This is this woman who was a nurse at the time. Yes, and oh boy, that is one. If we start talking about Stockholm syndrome now, it's another thing.
That is it now.
That's where you see survivors of domestic violence. We rehabilitate them. They stay in our shelter. The man sends them, baby, you know I love you.
Dr. Yolanda, you know it's getting very long. Continue on this part.
Yes, before we go to that place. But so I remember with Toby, there was something that came to my attention. Toby did not realize he was abused. He just felt he was not like other boys. So when other boys were attracted to younger women, he did not know what to do with his hormones at the time because they had activated things in him. And then because it was taken from him forcefully, and when he tells his friends, they'll be like, bad guy, you're enjoying, So he had to convince himself that the pain. And so even when he came to the shelter, he was very wild and everything until he now saw other survivors in the home, because that part of the home, it's our boys. And then a lot of them are physically abused, then they're sexual abuse. So he met another boy who is Toby, his namesake too. But Toby was a houseboy with an Alaja who said he stole the phone. That story even trended. And so Alaja called soldiers, they tied him to a fan upside down, they flogged him. When they thought he passed out, Alaja's daughter used iron to burn his bum, his stomach, his stuff, and I can send videos of that. You see the burn and all of that. So when Toby was dealing with his wounds and all of that, he saw that, okay, his own pain might not have scars. But Toby was also very violent. That's the small Toby who was injured. Then he started saying, another is trying to help us, so calm down. All these things you're doing, me too. And so I realized that the way to get to our boys, because they are wired to be protectors, is to give them little brothers to also cater for. When you want to take care of them as though they are women, it's going to mess up a lot of things because they are wired to fight. They don't want to hear that a lady abused them because they are in charge. I allowed her. So I had to go back to school. I had to now learn how to deal with sexual abuse in males, children, and adults. And it was with doing that, it opened a new world to me where I realized that for everything that we know, we have been trying to use the template for women.
Exactly.
For men.
And it's not testosterone
and estrogen and testosterone are two different things. Now, the beautiful thing about Favor is, Favor was ready to be somebody in spite of the fact that she was still dealing with nightmares. Favor did not want to touch her baby. In fact, Favor wanted me to give her baby out. And that's why I've been fighting, because a lot of people say we are an orphanage. No, we're a halfway house, we're a shelter, we're not an orphanage. We don't give children for adoption. Because we need a foster system in Nigeria. The reason why we have a lot of abuse is because people who can cater for other people cannot get these children they want to cater for. Even people who want to do real adoption, we cannot start talking about the long waiting list and all of that. That's why people end up buying children. Now, so where the home, our shelter, is a place where a girl can leave her baby, go to school, find herself. If she grows and she says, I want nothing with my baby, her baby is still there. It's her decision to make. But if you expect children to make decisions at the point of the hurt,
it's impossible.
They have to choose between their future and being a mother.
Not forgetting that their brains are still
developing. God bless.
So they can't make
and so
that
Favor had that
decision.
chance. I remember Favor in her final year called me and said, how are my babies doing? And I said to her, they are doing fine. And then her first time, because she was away, it was hard for us to get her to UK first. So she was in Dubai for a year, and then she went to UK. And thank God for the Ukraine war and stuff. The UK government gave a lot of scholarships to a lot of people, and with her story it was easy. So she got into law. It was beautiful, but the thing is, it took her healing to realize she wanted to make sure that her children.
Where are those children?
Yes. Now, if those children were taken from her, put up in a shelter and whatever, now that she's ready to know where those children are, they're lost. And that's where the work comes in. There are a lot of advocates that want to fight. There's no sponsorship. There's no support. I remember when we did that suicide show. Like, people that are not doing the work, they are getting the funds because they are giving fake data. We have to say the truth. But when you're doing the work and you're on the ground, it's very difficult. So our success stories are very beautiful because we're able to generate income from my other practices and other things to do.
Dr. Yolanda, you are able to generate income for your other practices. So there are other areas where you actually also function. But then, it's getting, I don't want to use the word interesting, it's very revealing.
Yes,
it's revealing, not interesting, it's revealing. And there are some areas that we still need to touch base with. First and foremost, the man and the woman who is in Kirikiri.
Yes.
Those children, the 3 children that the girl had for them, where are they and how are they doing?
Okay.
But we'll come back to you because I'm sure our viewers will want to know more about this. Don't go, wait for the part 2 of this program.
Yes.
Of your program, your favorite Health Talk TV show, The Physicians. We'll be back for part 2. Have a blessed evening.
Every day and in every way, enjoy that I find support. No matter the role you play, nutrient pack supplement for you and me. In your body, that I fight you.
Darvite nutritional supplement is loaded with essential multivitamins, minerals, and natural ingredients that helps you to be at your best. Darvite from LB Pharma. Darvite. Love yourself.